What's up, guys? This is Otimamai, the other co-host of Just Football Talk, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite NFL draft picks and some questionable NFL draft choices made by some NFL teams during the draft. We're first going to kick off this video with my favorite NFL draft picks, and we're going to Baltimore, and with them taking Shaun Wade. I mainly love the Shaun Wade pick because the Ravens solved their slot cornerback issue is that Tavon Young can't stay healthy, and when the offense goes into a 3 wide receiver set, the Baltimore Ravens have to kick Marlon Humphrey inside and put Jimmy Smith on the outside. And that creates a mismatch because now the offense can put their wide receiver one on the outside, and Marlon Humphrey has to cover the slot. So I feel like with them getting Shaun Wade, they're getting a pure slot corner. In fact, Shaun Wade was supposed to be a first-round pick just by being a slot corner in the 2020 NFL Draft last year. He proved this season that he is not a slot outside corner, a slot corner. And if Shaun Wade can succeed in the slot, then the Baltimore Ravens have all the reasons to get rid of Tavon Young and create cap space or get some draft picks in return. The next player I want to talk about is Nick Bolton to the Kansas City Chiefs. How can I put the Kansas City Chiefs linebacking core nicely? It's bad. Willie Gay, I liked the Willie Gay pick last year, but he's a rookie. He makes some rookie mistakes. Dorian Daniels and Anthony Hitchens are subpar linebackers at best now. But I feel like with them getting Nick Bolton, they're getting a guy who can be rangy. He can hit you hard. In fact, I had Nick Bolton going in the second round to the Green Bay Packers. But I feel like with Nick Bolton, the Chiefs are getting a guy who can play the pass, and the secondary doesn't have to worry about the running back getting to the second level. Steve Spagnuolo can work with that because now he can put Nick Bolton in coverage and the quarterback, because Nick Bolton's a guy who can drop back in coverage. So I feel like they're getting an all-around linebacker, and in Nick Bolton, I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs can improve. Can improve that linebacking core and probably be a better defense that way. The next thing I want to talk about is Rashad Weaver to the Tennessee Titans. I like the Rashad Weaver pick, but to me, Rashad Weaver is more of a project than a prospect. He's great in the run, but he still needs to improve his pass rushing. But I feel like with him getting mentored by Bud Dupree, that he'll improve his pass rushing a lot, and he could probably be a starter in like 1 to 2 years for the Tennessee Titans. He could be a staple for that defense. But I feel like right now where he's at, he's more of a project, and I don't see him starting right away unless he's like a role player to a bench player, or if Bud Dupree isn't ready for the season. Next one I want to get to is Amari Rodgers to the Green Bay Packers. It hasn't been a great day for Green Bay Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back. Probably isn't coming back. Devontae Adams' extension talks have ended. So looking pretty bad right now, but I feel like if them getting Amari Rodgers, they're getting a guy who can route run so well that I'm not saying he can replace Devontae Adams, but he could probably be as good as a route runner as Devontae Adams. In fact, Amari Rodgers was compared to Randall Cobb, who was a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, and he started the slot. Amari Rodgers is exactly what you want if you're looking for a route runner. He can run routes, he can get open. Whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, you're getting a reliable guy. Next thing I want to talk about is Chuba Hubbard to the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers have a running back problem, I would say, is that they don't have anyone behind Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is coming off injury, and although I want to say he can probably take the heat, you don't want to start your running back all the time when he just came off an injury. So them getting Chuba Hubbard, they're getting a guy who should have been a first-round pick this year, but just because of lack of production, and rumored that he might have gone to supplemental draft, it just showed that the Carolina Panthers have a need for running back, and Chuba Hubbard fits that need. He can come in, he can be that guy that runs through tackles, or he can even be the guy that bounces outside. I have Chuba Hubbard as a top 10 running back, and I have Chuba Hubbard as a top 10 running back in my running back rankings. So I feel like with them getting Chuba Hubbard, they're getting a guy who can take the pressure off McCaffrey. In fact, McCaffrey might not have to even start right away week 1. Because I feel like Chuba Hubbard can replicate it. Next thing I want to talk about is Wyatt Davis to the Minnesota Vikings. The main reason I love this pick, as a Vikings fan myself, I love this pick because we traded back, we got Christian Darrisaw, and we got 2 more picks, and we got Kellen Mond and Wyatt Davis. Back to Wyatt Davis. Wyatt Davis was supposed to be a first-round pick, but because of injuries, he fell all the way to the 3rd round, and the Vikings got a steal. If Wyatt Davis can recover from his injuries, then you're looking at a guy who can be a staple for that offensive line. He was supposed to be a first-round pick. In fact, a lot of mock drafts, like earlier in the season, around week 3, he was supposed to be he was projected to the Minnesota Vikings because their line was bad. They didn't have a solid guard at all. So I feel like with the Minnesota Vikings getting Wyatt Davis, He's gonna be stable for that offense. He's gonna bring that aggressiveness and create Christian Darrisaw. The offensive line is set if they pan out well. The last player I want to talk about before I get to my questionable NFL draft decisions based on some NFL teams is the JOK, the Joker, the Jack of all trades, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but he was the best linebacker in the draft, and he shouldn't have fallen out of the first round. Because I feel like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you can put him anywhere on the field. He's the Isaiah Simmons of the drafts. You can put him anywhere on the field. You can put him at safety. You can put him at linebacker. You can put him at end. But because of his size, it wouldn't be smart to put him at safety. But he can cover. He can do everything Nick Bolton. I say with Nick Bolton, he can do everything 10 times better. He can read plays smarter than your quarterback or offensive line or even running back. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you can put him anywhere and he will be that Jamal Adams type player. You can put him anywhere. I'm just saying. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the Browns are lucky to have a guy who can be the staple for that defense. If Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah turns out to be the best linebacker in the draft, the Cleveland Browns might just had the best draft in the NFL again. They had a great draft last year. They have a great draft this year. Cleveland is a team to look out for. I mean, they were last year, but now, if Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah turns out to everything I hope he can be, then the NFL's in trouble for letting that happen. Alright, now let's start with some questionable NFL decisions by some questionable draft choices by some NFL teams. First off, the Carolina Panthers. I love everything about the Carolina Panthers draft class, except for them not taking a safety opposite of Jeremy Chin. See, the Carolina Panthers are trying to build a defense that can compete. So obviously, they took J.C. Horn. They took Davian Nixon. But they didn't take a safety. I don't know why. They can't roll Justin Burst week 1. He was okay, but the Carolina Panthers need good if they're looking for a playoff contention. If they're not, I think that's good, but every team's looking to be in the playoff contention. So they need to upgrade that safety position. Maybe they could get Ricardo Allen. Well, no, Ricardo Allen's on Bengals. Maybe they can get Malik Hooker, because Malik Hooker, he met with Dallas. He's expected to sign, but who knows? Anything can happen. But I just feel like you can't roll Justin Burst week 1. He's okay, but he was inconsistent. You need someone who can be consistent all the way through. I feel like he could be, but then again, he could not. Who knows? Alright, the next team I want to talk about is the Buffalo Bills not taking a tight end or taking a cornerback in the higher rounds. The Buffalo Bills, their offense is great. It's phenomenal, except for running back, but David Singletary will bounce back. I feel like he'll bounce back. But their offense is great. They got Josh Allen, they got Cole Beasley, they got Stephon Diggs, they got Devin Singletary, they got Zach Moss. But I feel like you should have upgraded the tight end position with Pat Freiermuth. Kyle Pitts was the best tight end in the draft. Everyone knew that. He was a unicorn. He was a beast. But I feel like with the Bills getting Pat Freiermuth, he could have been Josh Allen's second security blanket next to Cole Beasley. I'm just saying. But with them not taking a tight end at all, not even Brevin Jordan or Tommy Tremble, they can't lean on Dawson Knox this season. I don't see them leaning on Dawson Knox. If they decide to lean on Dawson Knox, then Dawson Knox has to explode this year. Otherwise, Buffalo Bills draft class is not looking good right now. But I love some of their picks. And then them not taking a quarterback higher in the rounds, they took Rashad Wildgoose, but Rashad Wildgoose is a slot corner. I feel like they should have taken a cornerback the cornerback higher. Just saying. Because you can't roll if you have Wallace week 1. Levi Wallace was inconsistent. He lost his starting job to Josh Norman at some point during his season last year. You just can't roll with Levi Wallace week 1 unless you're expecting that this guy has made improvements. Or you're going to sign someone. They could sign someone. They could sign Richard Sherman. They could sign Steven Nelson. But rolling with Levi Wallace week 1 is going to be a recipe for disaster. If you're telling me this guy lost his starting spot to Josh Norman, the 32-year-old. Alright, the last team I want to get to is the New York Giants. And it's not anything against a player. I love Aaron Robinson. I feel like he could have gone to the Bills. But it's just with the Giants taking him. The Giants already have James Bradbury. They have Adoree Jackson. They have Darnay Holmes who plays a slot. And they have Logan Ryan who can play slot and quarterback and safety. So why would you take Aaron Robinson? Unless you're preparing for the future. But I don't see... But like with how I said Rashad Weaver is a project, not a prospect. Aaron Robinson is a prospect, not a project. If you're expecting him to stay on the bench for a few years, I don't see that happening. He's a guy who can start right away and will make a huge impact. But if you're telling him to wait for a few years, you're wasting potential. I'm just saying. But hey, I'm just a sports talk guy. But as far as I'm concerned, the Giants should not have picked Aaron Robinson. They should have picked a different need. They had guard needs, they had O-line needs, they even have some safety needs. They have Xavier McKinney, they have Jabril Peppers. I don't know if Jabril Peppers is gonna come back to the Giants. They have some linebacker needs, but taking a cornerback just didn't make sense to me because they have James Bradbury, they had James Bradbury, Jordan Jackson, Darnay Holmes. It just didn't make sense. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Please put in the comments what players you would like me to do next time. I will be doing a film video next time. I want you guys to put in the comments what type of players I should do next time. Put your favorite players. Put some players you're interested in. The NFL season starts in 2 weeks with the Hall of Fame game, August 5th. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Dallas Cowboys. I'll see you guys later.